hit and go live now.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. All right. So we're live now. I got on with Arden a couple minutes early just to say hi and warm up a little bit. And we started talking and we got right into it. So I'm like, wait, it's 5 o'clock. So hello, everybody, and welcome to the Live at 5. This is a new feature. We are talking to people who have healed to build that library of evidence so that you know it is absolutely possible to heal. So the more people we interview, the more evidence we're supplying your brain with to show you that this is absolutely possible. And it is different for everybody. So the more stories you hear, the more you're going to resonate with things. So the Live at 5 goes on every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Either I'm coming on talking about another piece of the protocol, or I'm talking to a member of Minding Your Soul who has healed and is telling their story. All of these videos are on the YouTube channel, the Minding Your Soul YouTube channel. So you can scroll through the group, or you can go to YouTube and kind of look at all the thumbnails. So I want to make sure we get right to it. Welcome, Arden Rayne, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
No, this is great. I'm so glad. You were one of the early members of Minding Your Soul.
I think so.
And I was just telling Arden how amazing she looks. Like, she's so bright and alive and very different from the first time that I met her. So I want to go through for everybody from the beginning until now. I want to show everybody, or I want everyone to see your whole story from the beginning when you were at your worst with MS symptoms. Can you tell us about that period? What were your symptoms? Were you bedridden?
Well, 1990 started happening. So electrical shocks that were so severe that I thought I was going to go insane. And then I was finally diagnosed, but that's later. But I've been paralyzed twice. For the last 15 years, I used a wheelchair, and I could walk inside the house, to the bathroom, but I couldn't do stairs. I would fall down. If I went outside, I've heard other people talk about this. You can't walk outside. I'd have to hold on to a wall.
A lot of people say that.
No one has ever told me, no doctor, what that is. They look at you like
you're crazy.
Yeah, ugh. So
and they just go, oh well, you have MS, so that's comes with the territory. Like they say to everything.
They don't know. I don't think they know. But yeah, I had migraines, I had weakness. Oh my gosh, I had to write some of this down. Paralyzed twice. I had all the symptoms of optic neuritis, but never had it. So I had all that eye pain. My vision was blurry and moved like this to the left. Everything I looked at moved like that in the row to the left. Everything I looked at, I saw quadruple everything. Quadruple.
So
it was horrible. So, diagnosed with 7 autoimmune. That's my diagnosis, 7. So anyway.
Take us through some of those. So MS being just one.
Right. Well, I had fibro, Hashimoto's, Sjogren's, IBS, lichen. I can't remember what they call lichen something. Rosacea is actually one, and then the MS. So yeah. And last year
they just diagnosed you with everything. Every time you went to the doctor, they're like, well, this is what it's called. Here you go. Take more medication.
Yeah, I never did. I tried one time way back in the 90s. I tried one, but I looked like someone beat me up like crap. I just had black and blue and never went away. That Copaxone, I think it was called. Oh. And I said, I'm not doing that anymore. There's something wrong if I have to look like this and feel like crap. Taking a drug that could cause this, and they all had these side effects like heart attack, brain tumor, might kill you. I'm like, so I just kind of.
Suicide was the one of the side effects for beta serum, the one that I took.
Oh, I did that one time.
Yep. Yeah. It was the every other day shots. And as I'm reading the side effects, I'm going, suicide? That doesn't sound like a side effect. It kind of sounds like an end result. I think I'd rather take my chances with MS, but I still did the drug for over a year. Oh, so you never took anything? Or what did I
tried that Avonex or something one time. I felt so sick. It was like having the worst flu of my life. I said, that's crazy. And then Copaxone I tried. And everywhere you did the shot, I would have these black, it looked like I got beat up. all the
Yes.
time, everywhere.
And you had to change the injection site every time. And since you're doing it every other day, you're right. I was covered. And then I was covered. So I said, all right, let me try my stomach, because they said that you could do it in your stomach. So I thought, I was so nervous to do it. I did it everywhere else. And then when I was covered and didn't have another place to do it, I said, all right, I'm going to do it in my stomach. And I was so nervous. The needle hit my rib cage. And I threw up because it was so disgusting.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was an awful experience. So, okay. So you did the drug for a little while.
Tiny
then
bit of time. I started reading about autoimmune, what to eat, what not to eat. And so I just learned, like, don't eat gluten. So I've been not eating gluten for a while, but didn't know about eggs and well, I did a little dairy, but I stopped that. After a while, I stopped that.
Me too.
And then I tried that what is her name? Walls.
Terry Walls.
Terry Walls.
Yep.
That didn't work. I did other people's protocols, but I never got. I know that other people understand this, but it was like I never got rehabbed. Like physically, I had to start over every damn day. It was like I never got, like when you work out and you get better and stronger,
It gets a little bit easier each time. Right.
Never. It was like the same day. And I had people like, why aren't you getting better? I'm like, I'm doing this stuff, but I don't get better. So that was annoying and crap, and then
I hear that a lot. Usually when I meet people, they say, I've tried everything. I've tried this. I've tried that. Coimbra, Best Bet, Terry Walls. And don't you feel like now that, and we're going to go through the recovery and where you are today, but don't you feel like all of those protocols, they all have a piece of the puzzle, right? A piece. And it wasn't until you found that you need all the pieces. It's a targeted attack. So before we get to now, because you have such a great story of healing and recovery and your life now. I love looking at you and hearing this. So you're using a wheelchair, every symptom under the sun. You're in bed, bedridden, wheelchair, can't leave the house. The vision is awful. At what point did you decide, this is it? I got to do something. I have to do something.
Well,
or was it an evolution? Was there a certain point?
Well, what pushed me was in November of 20, my ex kicked me out of the house.
There you go.
So I was like, how do I take care of myself?
So your husband said, get out.
Get out. Yeah. So, well, we were divorced at that point, but still kind of together. It's kind of complicated, but.
Well, there's money issues and everything with everyone getting divorced. You can't just be like, okay, we're divorced, go. Not in these times.
I never got any disability or anything like that. Like the government I never got that. So I was like, and so I was pushed out. And then somehow I think I found you January, February.
That's when we first met, when you and your husband split.
Right. And I had really severe pain, like horrible screaming, crying pain. So I knew I had to figure all this out, and I didn't know, and I was suicidal, and it was a mess. I was a mess.
Thank you for admitting that. It's very hard for people to admit that they had those thoughts, because we're so shamed into thinking that we shouldn't have those thoughts when it's real. We do have those thoughts. It's whether or not you act on it that makes the difference. But we all have those thoughts. And when you're at your lowest point, especially going through this disease, when you're at your lowest point, thinking that death is better is very common. So I very much appreciate your vulnerability and honesty in this interview. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I actually had a doctor tell me it'd be better if you had cancer, because at least you would either die or live.
Right.
Instead of being tortured for the rest of your life. I'm like,
live in agony forever.
Yeah. So that's what I got from people, doctors and stuff like that too. When I started your program, January, February, 21, I just went head in, like
balls to the wall.
All of it. Like, did all of it. And in 1 month I was improved. So I was walking. I could walk. I think we talked about that a long time ago about I couldn't walk to the trash can.
That's the first
way.
I remember. That's the first story I remember when we were talking. You said, I can barely get to my garbage cans. And then we started the protocol. Next time we talked, you go, I walked to the end of my driveway. I took my garbage out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a month later.
And I was in a town, ended up in this nowhere Georgia town. They didn't even have any access, like wheelchair access. So I couldn't go anywhere.
I remember you're like, I'm in this podunk town. There's no people. There's nothing to do.
Yeah. And it was COVID. I was isolated, and my ex kicked. It was a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know where I want to go with this. But anyway.
Okay, so we're a month into the protocol, and you're walking. Now, I've learned to tell people not to do what I did, like what you said, you just did. You go balls to the wall, but it's so hard not to, because you finally find something and you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling great. This is working. I can do this. This is doable. You go balls to the wall, but then you realize you can't do everything all at once. You have to take it in chunks. And that's where the term peaks and valleys come from. You know, you're in that peak and then you go into the valley, and trying to mitigate those valleys so that they're not so deep. That's where the slowing down comes from. So you have to slow down to go faster. And like me, you did the same thing. You're like, no, I can do it. Watch me. And then we do it and we're like, oh crap, we really do need to take it slow, don't we? So go ahead. So talk about that.
I went for it, and I didn't even have a juicer. I just trained this crap every day.
That's right. I remember that. I'm like, Arden, that's insane.
Like, take this strainer, celery juice every day and clean up that mess. And
I want to just focus on that for a second. Arden was so gung-ho. I am going to do this. I am going to heal. This sounds like something that would work, Janine. All right, let's do this. I don't have a juicer, but that's okay. I'll find a way, right? There's always a way. She strained her celery juice for, what was it, months before you got a juicer?
A year.
Oh no, it was a year.
It was a year.
She strained her celery juice. So she would put it in the blender, strain it out, then drink it, clean everything up, and do it again the next day. Okay, so that is the definition of a badass. I'm sorry. So we're a month in, we're straining celery juice. We finally, we're walking a little bit, we're walking to the garbages. What happened next?
I kept feeling better. I started doing Tai Chi 4 months later because my balance sucked. I had vertigo, weird dizziness stuff. I couldn't your whole perspective changes when you're down, laying down, when you're up. That your brain is like, your writing reflex in your brain is like, whoa, what are you doing? Because
you were bedridden for, my God, how many years?
12 years.
12 years. Arden was bedridden. Wait till you hear what she's doing today. So she's bedridden, and all of a sudden now she's up, she's walking, she's taking the garbage out. And yeah, your equilibrium is like, whoa, I've been horizontal for 12 years. Yep. And here I am vertical every day. It's going to take a little getting used to. Now, did you know it's going to take a little getting used to, or were you kind of scared that maybe this is it? Maybe this is how I'm going to have to live. Like, where was your mindset?
No, because I'd been in pre-med, so I kind of knew a lot of physiology. So I knew that writing reflex in the brain, equilibrium, and the whole vestibular system and all that stuff had to readjust to everything. And but I just kept going. I kept going. And I started Tai Chi and got my balance back. Then I started doing little mini squats because I couldn't bend down. Like, if I went down, I'm on the floor. Then you got to get your ass up off the floor.
You got to figure out how to get up again.
It sucked. I had to crawl to a chair and then get, and get up like that.
So why didn't you say, this isn't worth it? I don't want to do the squat because then I'm going to end up on the floor, and then I got to get up again, and that's a pain in the ass. How did you keep going? Because if I remember correctly, you said that took you how long to do a full squat?
Probably 9 months. It was about 9 months.
9 months. You practiced almost every day for 9 months doing a squat, and it took 9 months to do a full squat.
I can squat down like an Asian woman. Like, they're fun of me now. It's like, you squat like an Asian woman. I'm like, okay, because that's how I squat, and I can get all the way back up. I can go down. I can do that. How many times I dance? That's another story. We'll go to that. But when I dance, I squat and dance and get up and dance, squat, and get up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
she was telling me before we got started on the live, she was telling me that guys are intimidated and they don't go up and dance with her because they say, I can't keep up with you. Look at you. I can't keep up with healthy men cannot keep up with Arden now.
These
she
are
was
young people.
Young guys too.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do that. My knees are wouldn't be able to do that. But now I feel like I'm getting stronger. I started working out. Like last year, I started doing dancing. I started doing more yoga and doing what else was I doing?
Yoga, Tai Chi.
Tai Chi. I kept doing the Tai Chi.
Right.
I got really bored of weight. So I did the TRX, which is like the strap and use your own body weight.
Yeah.
So use your own body weight to do rows and squats.
Did you like that?
I like the TRX because
me
it's
too.
me. So then I started doing more squats. And I got better for the first time. I got stronger, which was not happening before on any diet or anything I did before. So I got stronger and I was like, wow, this is awesome. Because I used to be a basketball player. So I know what being in shape is. And I was so out of it. And I took a drug that had me gain 60 pounds in 2 months.
Whoa, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you what it is if you want to know.
Now you have to.
Gabapentin. It's a terrible, terrible drug.
I heard a lot of people are on that.
They give it to a lot of people. And I lost 20 years of memory. Like my whole kid's childhood's gone. Like,
oh my goodness.
That lots of weird stuff. And then it made me I couldn't even have a conversation. I was just and they said, that's MS. And then I had these weird heat flashes, heat would radiate from my abdomen, my head, people could feel it from the other side of the room. Oh my God, you're burning up. I'm thinking I'm cooking inside. I said, I'm not doing it anymore. I just cold turkey cut it out. And they say, don't do that. I don't care. I just cut, but that was years ago. But anyway, I cut that out. I said, there's something wrong. And the doctor said, we don't know if you're allergic to it or what. We don't know. So, but yeah.
I always tell people, I'm like, listen, I'll tell you what I did, but I'm not giving you advice on it. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not certified in anything. I'm just someone who healed from MS. I stopped my medication cold turkey. I don't recommend doing that, right? I don't recommend doing it, but that's what I did. And so I want people to get a sense of when they start this protocol, because we have the workshop coming up. The workshop is coming up where I'm going to teach the entire protocol, like I do a couple times a year. I have to drive home the point of, now that you have all of this information, you can't just do it all and change your life overnight and say, okay, starting tomorrow, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go balls to the wall and I'm going to heal. And I know she tells me not to do everything all at once, but I'm going to do it because that's what I did and that's what you did. So they all know my story. So talk about when you're doing the starve, kill, detox protocol, talk about, because here's my point. After the free workshop, I opened up the Path to Healing 4-month program. Now, you were never a part of the Path to Healing program. You were never part of the coaching. And that's the whole point of Minding Your Soul, to give you all the information you need to just take it and run with it if you want to, or do it with a group. You did it on your own. I try to drive home the point of doing it in chunks. And in the 4-month program, we spend a whole month on lemon water and celery juice.
Oh
and then
God.
we do, a whole month incorporated in. So it takes 4 months to incorporate the entire protocol. So talk to me about how you did it and then what you would recommend people doing.
Well, for me, I did everything starting the first day. Yeah. I did lemon water, celery juice, heart of detox every day.
Gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free. You did everything.
Yeah. And then I think I added the supplements in not too long after, maybe a couple months.
Well, that was smart. That was good.
I don't remember what you said to do, or we talked about it back then. I don't know if you told me anything, but
I don't remember, but I'm hoping that I did. I know it's been a while.
I stayed slow, start it later. But I was like, I'm going to do the monolaurin, and I'm going to do the B12 and the all the whatever,
lemon balm, the cat's claw, everything.
Cat's claw. So yeah, I did all of it. But I was fortunate that I did not have any big setbacks because my diet was really clean. Like I don't eat
That's
sugar.
true.
Sugar aggravates your body in like 200 ways. Like I used to have a list in my office of all the stuff it affects. It's really just evil. um, and I noticed when I had
Clarify, you're talking about processed sugar.
white sugar. Yeah.
Yeah, white sugar. She's not talking about fructose because a lot of people have this fruit fear, but we're not talking about fructose, just processed.
No, because I had really bad pain. And I noticed whenever I ate sugar, the pain would be, and within a minute, I would be screaming. And I was like, okay,
Right.
no more sugar, no more.
An obvious sign, can't do the sugar.
I don't do it. I don't do it at all. So through all these 2 years, I've got rid of 70 pounds on top of that.
70, I
70
can
pounds.
see it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So,
So starting the protocol all at once. What I tell people is to take a couple months, because if you're not already living this clean diet and have all of this stuff already working for you, when you go into it and you start with the gluten-free, dairy-free, celery juice, lemon water, you're killing the virus. You're killing the virus. And the dead virus, the corpse of the virus, is a neurotoxin, a dermatoxin itself. And it takes your body a good amount of energy and time to get the dead virus out. So you don't want to overwhelm your body with that dead virus. You have to give it time to flush out of your body, which is why we spend a month on lemon water and celery juice talking about how to evolve your life, how to evolve this protocol into your life so that you don't turn your life upside down.
Yeah, I do see some people that have some, that like you call the valleys. And since I was eating, I ate pretty clean. Like I kind of knew that a long time ago, like somehow that don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat processed things, don't eat artificial colors, artificial flavors, and red dye number 40. That was one of my kids' first words. Does it have red dye number 40 in it? Yeah, it does. We're not eating that. The hydrogenated oil? Yeah, nope, we're not getting that either. So, you know,
were your kids one of the only kids who knew how to pronounce the word hydrogenated?
Well, they would say it really like hydrogenated oil, Mom. Does it have that? And that's in red dye. Like the teacher called one time. He wants that we have red velvet cake, and he asked me if it has red dye number 40 in it. I'm like, yeah, it probably does. If it's red velvet cake.
Of course it does.
This is like a 5-year-old asking the teacher.
Oh, so young. That's so awesome. I know. It's, you know, my kids were probably one of the only ones who like asked these questions. Is this gluten-free? Is this hydrogenated? And then people would look at them. I'm like, I have a long story. I'll tell you about it another time. But it's great because then they grow up seeing what you did, right? And how do your kids feel about your journey? Because my kids, they don't give me any, like, they're like, yes, so you had MS, big deal. Like, it's so not a big deal to them. We walked through, if you scroll down far enough on my Facebook page, you'll see a post that I made where me and the kids, my son and my daughter, were walking into Target. And you know how they have the wheelchairs on the side, right in the vestibule as you walk in? So we're walking in.
Yeah.
Right. So we're walking in, and my son had to be like 10 or 11, like he's getting into that cocky stage. So he looks over, he's like, hey Ma, check it out, bring back memories. And he just keeps walking. Yeah. And my heart stopped. I thought, this was so traumatic to me to use a wheelchair and have my kids see me be so weak. And to him, it was like, hey, bring back memories. Like it was nothing to them. It stopped me in my tracks. So how do your kids now view you? And do they think like it was so triumphant what you did? Because to my kids, it's no big deal. They're like, yeah, she got over MS. Who cares? Like, this is just what people do. They don't even know.
They're adults now, so they're like 30, but I don't think they get it. Like,
they don't give you the credit, do they?
My ex didn't see me for a year, and his face was like shocked, like you're walking, and you know all that weight was gone, and he was flabbergasted.
How good did that feel?
I was like,
yeah. How good did that feel? Yeah. You know what? You kicked me out, and look what I turned into.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like, I think we said something about that earlier. Like all your experiences create yourself, and they're all okay. I mean, I was a certified hypnotherapist for a lot of years, and you teach people that good and bad experiences all are okay. They are your experiences that you have to create who you are. So, you know, I kind of, you know, I feel like, yeah, it sucked, totally sucked at times, but you get something out of it. You learn something out of it.
And it worked out for the best. A lot of people wonder how I could be friendly or friends with my ex-husband, the one who I was just recovering, and he just up and left and disappeared and said, left me a note, good luck raising the kids. I don't want this life with you anymore. And everyone says, how could you talk to him? Yeah, it took a while. It took many years. But now I am so grateful that he did what he did, because I had no other choice than to continue to heal, take care of myself so that I could take care of my kids, because there was no one else to do it. So I was given a sink or swim kind of situation. And looking back at it, when I first started coaching, I was wondering, like, is this possible? What I did, would it actually work with somebody else? Or is it just, did I will it to me because I had to? And so that's where these stories are so powerful for people, because yeah, it does work. It absolutely does work. Look at you. What did you say? 12 years bedridden?
12, 15. Yeah.
Yeah. 12, 15 years bedridden. And now we're squatting, we're exercising, dancing.
People are dancing every weekend.
Every weekend you go out dancing.
Yeah, straight. No stop. 4 or 5 hours straight dancing.
5 hours.
Yep. And no, I'm not winded. I blast out like everybody. I mean, people are dancing, I got to take a break. I'm like, no, I'm going to keep going.
And what about
water with electrolytes, little Himalayan pink salt? I sip on that while I'm dancing. Go put it down, do my stuff, and keep going.
That's what me and my girlfriend do. We went back when I was single. We didn't pay like for any drinks or anything, because we would go in with our waters, right? We would go in right when the band got started. We would dance, and then we'd have our own drink. It would be a break. We'd hydrate, and then we'd go back again.
Exactly.
God, I love that. So now you're actually flying to California to see your grandkids?
I last summer I went to Hawaii.
See
my grandkids, and we went to the beach several times. And
so she's taking her grandkids by herself to the beach.
Well, Mama was there because little Ewan was only 1. So I'd entertain him when I was sitting like in the sand, and then I'd go out in the water with the 4-year-old, and we'd go get hit by the surf. It's surf too, because you're right in the ocean. So when it hits you, it's massive.
Oh yeah. How many times I get washed in. This is amazing, Arden. This is absolutely amazing. You're giving people such hope that it doesn't matter if you're bedridden right now. If you're watching this interview and you're bedridden, I want you to talk directly to them. There are people right now watching this live, the people who are going to be watching the recording, who are watching it from bed, and they're thinking, this is my life. What do you want to say to them?
There is a mental, physical, spiritual connection to all of it. You have to deal with all of those things. Of course, the physical stuff that Anthony William, the medical medium, teaches us, what you teach people, and then Matt's like the mindset that's important. But all of it is together. So emotionally, you got to deal with, okay, what trauma happened to me? Like when I was 2, when I was 5, when I was 16. I think it's all connected to how, I don't want to say attract, but like I studied with Dr. Bruce Lipton, so I know him. So, you know what those people say, like your cells have to respond to a thought, which is your thought. And be careful what you say to yourself and what you say out loud to other people. So I don't talk about my symptoms. Rarely do I ever talk about any ailments I have, because I'm not going to reinforce them, because I'm going to keep saying that I'm a moving, walking, dancing person. I mean, you can do this. Just have to really need to watch what you say. Really, really watch what you say, what you feel, how you approach it. Just, it's a lot of rewiring, revamping, retraining your brain, and your letting spirit in. letting your body heal, emotionally healing trauma. It's all connected. It really, and you can do it. I had a horrible childhood. It was horrible. It was unbelievable horrible. And I think that all that stuff, and then I was pushed out. So I had to deal with everything. And then I had to deal with pain. So I learned neuroscience. I had to do that. I did that for a year and a half. I had to learn neuroscience, how to rewire my amygdala and basal ganglia to stop sending pain in my body. So I had to rewire that. You know, you can rewire your brain to not do that anymore. So, I don't, so like,
I know it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming because it's to be told people are sitting here, laying here in bed, watching you, and you remember where you came from. And thank you for doing this and going back into the past and telling us about the symptoms and how far you've come. And I understand where you're coming from, because when I first started, not even coaching, I was helping people heal, but it wasn't a business. I would go back to the time that I had the symptoms, and it was bringing me down. And I had to learn how to coach someone and help someone and identify with them without going back to that place myself.
Yep.
So that is exactly the reason why a lot of people want coaching, just the coaching on the protocol. And I want to set you and everyone else up for success. And I want to set myself up for success as a coach. I tell them, you have to do the body, the mind, and the soul. I can give you all the protocol information and tell you what to eat. But if you don't address the other areas and do the real work, which is why we have Matt Rowe, the vibrational healing from Catherine Rose, inside the 4-month program, whether you use those people, my extra coaches, or whether you use your own coaches, it has to be done. Because everything, you're right, healing starts here and the body follows.
Exactly. So it's not prejudiced. It's like the universe. I want flowers. Here's flowers. You want shit. Here's shit. Your body's the same way. It just says, okay, I have this and this problem, this problem, this problem. Okay, it doesn't have any prejudice for that. So it's going to give you what, like what Bruce Lipton's talking about. Your cell responds to your thought. It has to get information or instruction from somewhere, and that's the gift that we have. Our mind is powerful, and that's the gift that we got to direct this machine that we have. You know,
we are directing the machine. This is directing the machine. And that's what I was going to ask you. What advice would you give to people? I hear a lot of times people saying, but this is what I believe. This is my entire childhood, my entire life leading up until this point. I don't believe that I can heal because there's no evidence to support that I can. So how do I start telling myself I am healed, I am healthy, I am happy when I'm not? So they know the advice I give them. What would you say?
What I've used with people is I'm becoming.
Oh, I like
because
that.
It's in between. It's like I am healed. I'm becoming healed. I'm becoming whatever that statement is. I'm becoming a dancer. I'm becoming a walking person. I'm becoming a free spirit, or whatever it is. That's a good in between statement to say. If you cannot say I am, whatever, because that's a huge leap. Yes. And your belief systems, like I've told people, they don't own you. They're interchangeable. These are ones that maybe you got from parents or grandparents or ancestral, but it doesn't mean you have to keep them. You can just, dump those out and put other ones in place. I mean,
such great points. And that's a lot of times no one tells us that. All the programs that we have, they have been programmed by people, everyone in our past, family, friends, we have been programmed. We don't realize that we have the choice. We can reprogram. We don't have to take all of the beliefs from our family and friends and own them as our own. They're interchangeable, like you said. The other thing I wanted to comment on was that is the most perfect word, becoming. I am becoming. Because if you jump from I am sick, I will never heal, and you go right to I am healed, I am better, the other part of your brain is going to go, no, you're not. No, you're not.
The subconscious is very generalized, and it likes to think, well, you had this experience, so all those experiences are going to be the same. The brain likes to have that. Like that. That's why we react the same way with the similar experience, because the brain is just like that. like we talked about, it's negative and, it says this stuff. So yeah, it's just that I'm becoming,
because that's believable. I am
and
becoming, and that you can believe. And then when you start to feel that, you can say, I am, and then you will believe it. It's not about just saying the positive affirmations that I am healthy, because the brain's going to kick in and go, no, you're not. And then you're going to be in conflict with yourself, which is going to lower your vibration and not attract what you need.
yes.
So Arden, that was some really great advice. So now I want to plug your coaching business. So what we do here in Minding Your Soul is we heal and then we pass it on, and we pass on the information to the next person. They heal and then they pass it on. Whether or not you want to start your own coaching is up to you, but Arden has decided that's her calling. She now wants to show everybody what is possible, and she's becoming the coach. And I'm so excited and proud and just honored to know you. So please tell us about your coaching practice.
It's kind of it's a mix between energy healing and the mental work and spiritual. So it's like human spirit integration and transformation. All those factors, that whole package needs to be addressed. Belief systems shifted out, shifted in, new ones shifted in. What's not working for you, create a new belief. It took me a long time to figure this out, but we're a human spirit in one package. We're not separate. We're like one thing. And a lot of people have, it's what I think. A lot of people have different stories about, we are human and a spirit and a human and all that, but we're definitely connected as one in this experience that we're having. I hope I explained that okay.
I think so. If there's any questions, I'm going to read the questions while you're talking. But so this coaching is exactly, it's the whole thing. It's the mind, the body, and the soul. Because anyone who has healed, who has gone from symptoms to no symptoms, knows that you have to do the work. It's not just what you eat. It's everything, the body, the mind, and the soul, which is where the name Minding Your Soul came from. You have to mind those matters. So what is your coaching practice called?
It's Vital Intention, which is my business been for a long time. I used to just separate them. I do body work, hypnosis, energy work. And then I realized that like I said, I've been waiting for like 9 months to figure this out, what I'm supposed to be doing with all of that information, all the stuff that I did, because I didn't know how to, but it's integrating all of that together. I'm probably not going to do that much body work now. Probably not, but I can
see what unfolds.
I can do the energy with the mental energetic level, and then reframe people's thinking. I had a call from someone just a week ago from somewhere there on your site, and the wordage that they were using, I said that needs to stop, because you need to just think of your life in a totally different way.
And I bet it wasn't even obvious to them how they were speaking, because we just use the language that we're used to using.
Yeah, you need someone to point it out, because people say all the time, like, well, I'm just feeble or whatever they say. I'm like, you just created that. Yeah. Your body's like, okay.
Right. And now you're going to bring more of it to you. Or what about when people say, well, my MS is more like, whoa, it's not your MS. It's not. It's just a diagnosis that you got. Never say my MS. You never want to claim it as something that you own. And so you point that out and they go, oh my God, that's right. But see, you don't know what you don't know. So talking to somebody with all of your years experience of going through the entire gamut of symptoms, I don't think there's one symptom that could be considered an MS symptom that you didn't have. All of them.
Except the bleeding out of the eyes, like you talked about. Never had that, but pretty much like you name it.
I always say that. I love that story. I could go to the neurologist and say, Doc, my eyes are bleeding, but they're hemorrhaging. And he'd go, well, you have MS. And so, it's probably, everything I had was, well, you have MS, never. So I want people to understand that Arden was completely bedridden, and now she is completely healed by doing the body, the mind, and the soul. We met 2 years ago. I introduced her to the protocol that I was working with, the Starve, the Kill, the Detox. She already had a lot of pieces in place. She put a few more of those pieces, those missing pieces together, and then really went hardcore on other pieces, the hard work, and worked for a year to 9 months to do a squat and kept with it and stayed disciplined. I just posted a video about what it looks like, the peaks and the valleys, and climbing that ladder, and you fall back, you take a step, and then you take 3 steps back, and then maybe you take 2 steps forward. And that's the way healing goes. It's never just a straight line up. There's all these peaks and valleys, because it's not just about healing, but it's about the life that is happening around you and everything that you have to change in you to react differently to not only the circumstances around you, but what's been going on in your head for your entire life.
Yeah.
So,
I did have a UTI for 3 months during that process.
3 months?
Yeah. And the drug made me feel sick, so I had to deal with it with other ways. But yeah, so that was the valley, I guess. And then we learned that's a cofactor that, the
Streptococcus bacteria is a cofactor of the Epstein-Barr virus. Once you kill the virus, that bacteria is also flushed out. However, a lot of doctors will not put MS and UTIs together at all because they don't know the connection between the Epstein-Barr virus and the Streptococcus bacteria. Now the medical industry is finally going, oh, this might have something to do with it. So they're coming around, but the UTIs are a big one. And I'm glad you brought that up, because do you get them anymore?
No, I have had nothing. That was just 2 years that was 21.
Yeah.
That summer, I think, after I started the protocols and went crazy with it and did everything. Yeah. And then that was probably late summer that it just wouldn't go away. And it was awful. I thought I was going to die. I thought, I guess my kidneys are failing. I didn't know, how bad it could get. It was bad. But I just kept doing herbs, and I finally found the right herbs. And so I just kept taking them and kept doing the stuff, kept doing the celery juice and all that. And during this time I had COVID twice. So, I've done that through the stuff. So, no problem. No, I didn't.
So here's the question that I'm sure is on a lot of people's minds as they're watching this. How did you stay positive throughout this entire journey? It sounds like I was going to say, it sounds like you stayed positive through the whole thing.
No.
Tell us more.
No, I had a lot of mental lows, a lot of just it was hard to be alone, isolated. I didn't, I was by myself trying to get better. And then I was like, yay, but my life sucks. There's still that mental garbage that we have to deal with, and then I've just found ways I just listen to a lot of people. Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, Panache Desai. You just have to get people in there and listen to them, and then correct the belief, correct the little brain subconscious crap that's always naggy and stuff.
The little asshole that keeps popping up and telling you shit.
Yeah, a little fucker. Yeah, in the head that just says
yes.
I think I call mine the bastard, that the one that's always
I love that when Matt Rowe talks about the voice.
Yeah, he is too.
I love what he named it. Did he tell you what he named it?
Yeah.
He goes, well, his name is Richard. And I go, because he's a dick. And he's like, yeah. And I call him a fucking dickhead. And he needs to go sit on the curb and shut the hell up, because that's not true. I'm like, oh God, I love that.
Yeah.
It's hard if no one tells you this, but the shit that's going on in your head, that's not real. That's not reality. Those are just thoughts.
You have to remove yourself. You have to remove yourself from the mind. It's a process that, I could teach people now, but that's just the mind's chatterbox of crap, that you just remove yourself from that box of crap. Because
now when Arden says you just remove yourself, well, it's not that easy. You're right. When she says it's a process, I think I'm just a little bit more Italian than Arden is. So I have to really drive it home with my facial expressions. It is such a process. It's so hard.
It is.
It's dramatic. It's emotional. And it takes a long time to get good at it. Would you say that that was an accurate description?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, and a lot of work. A lot of work.
And when she says the work, let me show you what this looks like. You're going to go through, let's say, I'm never going to heal. I'm going to be sick forever. God, life fucking sucks. And then the phone rings right in. It's your mother-in-law. And you're like, God, I can't fucking stand her. And then
whatever. Yeah.
Right. And then everything starts looking bleak and you don't stop to go, whoa, hold on a second. It's when you learn to stop and go, wait a second, why am I thinking all of this? Why am I in such a shit mood? Let me redirect my thoughts. And then you try to redirect your thoughts and you go, oh, that doesn't fucking help at all. I don't feel any better. Right. And then you keep at it and you keep at it and you're going to get moments of, okay, I'm feeling
carrots.
better.
I call them like little carrots.
Little carrots. Okay. I'm feeling better.
Okay.
Maybe I believe this shit.
Goes away,
and then something bad happens and you're like, nothing fucking works. This is never going to work. And then you go into that trench again. So just like the peaks and valleys of the physical healing, right? You're doing good and then you're not, and then you're doing good. And it's the same thing with the emotional stuff. You do get better at controlling your thoughts to eventually, you don't have to control them anymore. It's just natural to think in a positive way. It's just natural when your husband says something so fucking stupid, you want to react in the way that you always did before. But then you're like, oh, hold on a second. This is about him. This isn't about me. That's my healing that I'm doing right now. That's my practice that I'm doing right now. Think differently, react differently. Because Arden, here's a great point. You healed from MS. And I bet when you still had symptoms, you were thinking, once I heal from MS, my life is going to be amazing. I'm never going to have a problem again. Or that's what I thought.
I don't think I went there. I think I was so like about everything. I just thought it was like, suck. It's going to suck. My life's going to always suck because it just.
But when you thought about healing, when you thought about, okay, when I am healed, because let's say you were getting some evidence that you were healing. So then you're like, okay, when I'm healed, my life is going to be fabulous. When you finally got to healed, where you can say, yeah, I'm healed. I'm great. I go dancing. I take my grandkids to the beach. I'm healed. Do you think that life is just so fucking easy right now and there's no more work to be done?
Well, hell no.
Right.
I mean, I woke up this morning, went to get mailbox, got a letter about some loan thing that was supposed to be discharged. I'm like, am I going to let it ruin my day? No, I'm going to go play Mahjong and win. So I mean, that's what I did. Like win 6 hands, and I play with Chinese ladies. So, it's not like, I'm just, but, I was like, okay. And then I have to pass. I had a couple kidney stones. So I've been passing those.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. And because your body can do, it says, I say, get out. I go, get out. I said, I need you to get out easily and just leave. And then I do a little tapping because I passed one today. So I was like, I'm just going to tap the kidney.
Passed the kidney stone earlier today. She says like it's nothing.
It can suck, but it's the second one hurt and it was not pleasant. And the first one I felt nothing. Like I just said, I feel something right there. I don't know what it is. And I thought it was like something. I asked the doctor, and like, yeah, you have kidney stones. So I'm like, oh, okay. I said, just tell me exactly where it is. I'll get it out. And they thought I was insane. I said, just tell me where it is exactly, and then I'll get it out. So that's how powerful your brain is, your mind is, because the body will take direction. So I just tell it like, but I never really had that when I'm better, because that was if and when. That's still not
too present. Far in the future.
You can only have, the brain can only process present tense. Yep. So I am what I am. So I think I am walking, I am dancing, I ammed it. And that's why I know that's why it took me 10 years to heal. That's why it took me so long, because I'd have these little ideas of I am, and then I would fall right back into, but yeah, it's never going to happen for me. It happens for other people, but it's never going to happen for me. And I stayed there too long. And that's why we do what we do now in Minding Your Soul. That's why you do in your coaching practice. Like, you have to tell people it is possible, because Arden,
Were you born with superpowers? Were you born so friggin' different from everybody else and special that you're the only one who can do this?
I mean, I didn't know anyone but you. But
Exactly. No, like
I
there wasn't a lot of evidence
that
to
I healed
prove.
from MS, except maybe I heard about Dr. Walls,
Right.
but that's it. There's no one out there that I knew of. And then when I met you, I was like, okay,
It could be done.
I'll do it. And I just took it like, okay, we'll do it. What do I have to lose?
Right.
Like,
it doesn't work. I am where I am right now. And That's exactly what happened. That first book that I found, the MS Recovery Diet book, where there's two women were in the wheelchair and they healed themselves from MS. I wouldn't recommend the book today because there's so much more information, but that was my first book. And it just put this little mustard seed of hope in my brain. And I thought to myself, if someone could do it, then I'm going to do it. I have to do this. If someone can do it, then I'm going to do it. I wasn't that kind of person where I wish I could say that I was, where I said, you know what, I don't care if no one else did it. I'm going to pave the way and I'm going to do it. No, I needed the evidence. I needed to know.
I'm really stubborn. I'm a really stubborn person. And I'm like, get out of my way. I'll do what I want. I'm going to do what I want, when I want, as I want. So I'm kind of just like that. And so probably that just kept me, even though I had I was suicidal. I had horrible moments, but I just think that somewhere there's a warrior in there. Like, I think you just have to find your inner courage, your inner warrior, and say, I'm doing this. And just.
It's so important that you are admitting. It's so important that we be vulnerable and let people know. Yeah, the journey was a lot. There were such low valleys where there were suicidal thoughts, and there were such high peaks where I thought, oh, this is possible, which made the next valley even lower because I never thought I would go into a valley again. And then here I am. And so the emotional shit that we put ourselves through is just such a mind fuck, and it's hard to get through, which is why, right?
Yeah, I got vertigo really bad last July. And it was like, I don't know, I was in the water and I went way out in the ocean when I was in Hawaii, and the waves did something to my eyes and my vestibular. So they were off.
Yeah.
So they figured it out, but sometimes you got to go somewhere and have someone tell you like this system's off. Okay. Thank you. Then I can address it. But I could have gone down a deep hole. But I said, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, because I could say, oh my God, I'm cursed. I have this shitty vertigo. This is
it. I'm not healed. I'm going downhill.
I'm vomiting. I'm going to go dance. I don't give a shit. That's my attitude. I was like, I'll just pass. I don't care. I'll fall down on the floor. I don't care.
Hell no. I'm not going through this again.
That's right. I said, I don't care. I'm going to go walk the dog. I'm going to vomit halfway through the dog. I'm going to go out dancing. I'm going to fall down. I'm going to get up. Everyone's just going to think I'm drunk.
Right.
Not, but
like everyone else. Yeah. And that is a choice. That is a choice. You can choose to go down the rabbit hole of depression, or you can choose to say, oh, hell no, fuck it. I'm doing what I want to do. And you're not always going to have the strength to say, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want to do. You won't always have the strength, but hopefully sometimes you will, and it will get easier and easier. So for everyone watching this right now, it's a journey. It's a journey, and there are peaks and valleys. And sometimes the valleys are so deep, you sit in there, and you need to sit in there for a little while, right?
Sometimes you got to look at the pain and look at the drama and the trauma to get perspective.
Oh, I like that. The drama and the trauma. Exactly.
Because you're used to, maybe a lot of people are used to the trauma impulse. And then when you stop that and go, okay, this isn't going to wreck my day. It's just one day that I'm going to be sick or whatever. It's just one day. It's just 1 minute. It's 1 second. Take it 1 second. I mean, I think I was on Matt Rowe's call a few weeks ago, and I said I had to reset an entire day. Every second I said reset, 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 because I was going to go down the rabbit hole. Yeah. And I just said, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. And that kept my brain out of shit, because I just said reset, 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 reset. I just said that all for hours. Reset, reset. So my brain had nothing to think about but resetting. It couldn't go down the hole. It couldn't give me any bad shit. It just had to say reset. And there was no feeling on reset. There was no negative or no thing for it to grab
But
on.
it was the constant reminder of, I'm not going down the rabbit hole, because every 5 minutes you wanted to, your brain wanted to.
Oh, yeah,
So every 5 minutes you're like, no, stop, reset.
Yep.
And sometimes that's what you have to do. Every 5 minutes in that, 15-hour period that you're awake, you have to do that. And that's the work that we're talking about. There's so many different areas of work to be done. And that's a big part of it. Understanding that it's not going to be easy, but you have to work at it, because it does get easier the more you work at it. Just like going to the gym, just like going to the gym. The first time you go, you're not gonna be able to walk the next day. You're gonna be so sore. But then you do it again, and then you do it again, and it gets easier and easier. So how do people get in touch with you for coaching?
Well, my number should be available. You can.
Perfect. All right. So phone. So they're going to call you. So we're going to put it in the notes. As soon as we get off here, we're going to put it in the notes. So people have a way to get in touch with you. And go ahead.
One thing I want to say is that I use mantras a lot because it keeps the mind busy. And it doesn't matter if you know any mantra from India or wherever. You can just say love, peace, whatever, with every breath. It keeps the mind from giving you garbage. So it keeps the ego busy, the mind busy. So it's a nice way to get your thoughts, get it busy. It keeps it busy.
It keeps it busy, because left to its own devices, it's going to go down the rabbit hole. So you have to come up with all of these tricks to keep your mind either neutral or positive, because it is work. All of those grooves in our brain have been made over decades of the same repetitive thoughts. And if those are negative thoughts, that's the easy route for your brain to take. It wants to take the groove that's already carved out.
Yep.
We're literally actually carving a new groove in our brain with our new thoughts. And that's a pain in the ass. I mean, think about it. You're sitting there digging a new trench, right? And you're like, fuck, I'm tired. And then you go here and you're like, well, this trench is already dug. Let me just go down here. No, that's the negative rabbit hole. I have to do this. I remember there were times when the kids were little and I was just starting on this journey. You're right. The brain always wants to go to the negative. And I would have my headphones in, sometimes only one, so I can still hear what the kids were doing. But I would have my earbud in so that I could have a book in my ears or a podcast in my ears of something positive that is going to keep my brain occupied and away from that negativity. So when we say you have to do the work, this is one part of it. The other part of it is facing all of the trauma. Facing it, because people say, all right, do the work, but what does that mean? Well, that means you have to face it. Did you ever really feel that trauma from your childhood? I know you talk about it, but you talk about it with a wall up. I just had this conversation with my girlfriend last Monday night. And she said, I talk about it all the time. I'm like, I know, I've heard the story, but have you ever told the story and felt those emotions again? She's like, all right, let's test this out. And she starts telling me about it. And she goes, I can't believe this. Like the tears just came up from her toes for the first time. And it had been 20 years. That's the work, like going back and feeling what you never allowed yourself to feel. So how much of that did you have to do?
A lot.
Yeah, right? And we still do it.
I did rebirthing. I did a lot of hypnosis. I trained with a doctor that's in Nevada now. He was in New York. I did a lot of that. I did my own sessions. I'd record them, my own sessions, and then I would listen, because you can't really say it and do it at the same time.
Oh,
so I'd have to record them and listen to my own sessions.
Are you talking about hypnosis?
Yes.
Oh, so interesting.
Yeah, and your own voice is actually better, because subconscious likes it better because it's your voice.
So you would record the hypnosis part and then listen to it to be hypnotized by your. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, like I'd say every cell of my body is working perfectly in every way. Whatever I need to say. I still have a couple things. I don't sleep, so it's really a drag.
You never did.
I haven't slept since like 1990. I don't know. It's like kind of crazy.
I'm sorry to laugh, but I don't understand how you're this energetic all the time and you do all this stuff and you still say, I don't sleep.
I won't sleep. That's what I'm trying to figure out now. And I'm just letting the universe like clue me in, like, what is it that I need to do? What do I need to eat? You want me to eat a banana? Okay, I'll eat a banana in the middle of the night. Whatever, whatever it says to me, I'll like, okay, I'll entertain.
Well, like, I'm channeling in everyone who's watching right now because I feel like we're all saying the same thing. Arden, you were bedridden and now you're dancing every week and you can't figure out how,
I'm like groove lady. Yeah.
And you can't figure out how to sleep. Like that is the last of the healing part, the sleeping part. So if anyone has any tips, like please put it in the comments for Arden.
I've tried so much stuff.
I know you have. I know. I've seen your posts.
Soak your feet by Chinese doctors, do this, do that. And I'm still trying to figure it out. But there's always going to be something. I mean, it's kind of cosmic jokes on us sometimes, like, well, we'll just give you this, but then you don't get to sleep. It's kind of like you have to look at it like in a comedic way sometimes, like, yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you. It couldn't be just perfect. I had to have the no sleeping part. Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. I'll accept that. But I'm very grateful to be walking. I watch other people and I go, you're just walking, but I'm walking and I know I'm walking. There's a big difference.
Take it for granted.
I do not.
Right.
When I'm dancing, no one knows that I'm dancing like crazy grinding girl out there, down the floor, down the floor, that I was bedridden for 12, 15 years. They don't know. I know. Right. And I'm like, I can move like this. Like, it's hard to get me. I don't know how to get a picture of myself watching Ginger dance. It was like awesome.
Wasn't that great?
It's so great. But I'm on the floor. I'm on the floor, like dancing.
Well, I'm going to speak for everyone and say you need to have a friend record this because we need to see it now. Now we need to see it.
If I can, the place I'm going is really crowded on Saturday. Like that's an understatement. It is like I fell down 3 times and I didn't even go anywhere because there's so many people. You're just like, well, okay.
They kept you up. It's like a mosh pit. That's awesome. I fell down 3 times. I never hit the floor. Only Arden would say that. That's or a 15-year-old.
It is. It's like you trip or something. You're like, well, you just gotta get yourself back together, because
I love what you said about the walking and how people just walk and they take it for granted. Because one of my very first clients was Tina, and she's on the testimonials page on the website. She's running. And when I first met her, she didn't leave the apartment. She didn't leave the flat. She's in London. So she never left the flat. And when she started to, she would leave it with her daughter, and then her daughter would help her back. And now she's running. And I love what she said while she was running. She recorded herself for everyone in Minding Your Soul. And she said, I hate running. I hate running. And I never thought that I would ever be a runner. But now it doesn't matter if I hate it. I do it because I can. And every time I run, she says the same thing I do to myself. Every time I run, I don't like running, but every time I run, I'm like, I'm running. I'm actually running. Like it hurts like hell.
I'm dancing like crazy.
Right.
Like, yeah, I can do that.
I'm dancing. Yeah. And I tell people, what you're seeing in my background right now, this is my bedroom. This is a corner of my bedroom that I have set up because Jackson has taken my office. He's taken the 4th bedroom, which used to be my office. So now I'm in my bedroom. So I am looking at my bed, and it's the same bed that I've had since I got married.
That last time.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I still have the same bed, the same furniture that I bought from Value City. That is the bed that I was paralyzed in, staring at the ceiling, going, God, please help me. I promise you I will help other people if you help me. And it's just ironic that now here I am helping people, coaching people, telling them all about this, showing the other people who have healed. And every time I look up, I see my bed. And I don't think I ever want to move out of my bedroom for my office. Maybe I'll be rich one day and have like multiple bedrooms and in my own office, but I don't think I want that. I think I like that constant reminder. So on that note, I want to thank you so much for all of this time and ask you, if you have to go, be honest with me and say, Janine, I have to go, because I wanted to read some of the comments that I was so.
No, I'm good. I'm a free agent. So.
Okay. Because we were talking about her dog before we got on the call. So I'm lucky my husband's home, my daughter's home. So Jackson's taken care of. Suzanne identified with you. Suzanne Jimeno, she said, I struggle with sleep, so sleep deprived. I feel like there's just, God, that is the worst. Love your story, Arden. Very inspiring, she says. Wanda, such hope. Thank you so much. Ginger, thank you, Arden, for sharing your story. It helps us that you are still healing. You truly are amazing. Oh, Martha said, Janine, best live at 5 ever, right? I mean, if I had Arden on here for every single one. The energy that you bring, Arden, that just that light that you bring, it really like it comes through the screen. I'm sure everyone is feeling that. I just want to let you know it's amazing.
That's I hope people get that they are the light. They are bright and beautiful light. And I had to put Post-its in my car and remind
everywhere.
myself.
Like, I wish I could show you right now. Here we go. There's Post-its. Well, you can't see it. There's Post-its everywhere reminding me of all of my affirmations.
Right.
How important are they?
I did that for a long time. I did that for a long time. And now I just know it, like my light is bright and beautiful or whatever. And then that, and I'm love or whatever it is that you need to say to yourself. That's
a great thing to point out, because the journey to where you were to where you are doesn't just happen. You have to work at it. You have to, if it requires you to stick a Post-it note on your forehead so that you see it every day.
On your arm. Like I wore these band things that said, believe, trust, faith, you're not alone. I got them from Vox in LA, out of LA. I mean, I wore those for like a year.
Reminders everywhere.
So I looked down like, I'm not alone. I'm okay.
I know people who put it on their bathroom mirror because that's what they see first thing when they wake up. I have words. I haven't put them up yet, but I have words, and I change them out all the time, that I order online. The ones that I still have the scraper right here. The words that you order and then you scrape them onto the walls and then you can peel them off when you're done. That's that's where my affirmations go. So when I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing that I see. This is a practice. It takes time. It takes work until it's in there. Like Arden just said, now it's just me. It's who I am. I don't have to remind myself anymore. But I bet if there was something new that you wanted to achieve.
Always.
Right.
It's not a process that's ending. We're in a lifetime of like all of this stuff happening and having to go through it, and who knows what the end result is. But I don't think there's any perfect person. Like maybe the Dalai Lama. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we're not living with that guy 24/7, so we don't know.
And that's what I was getting at before when I asked you, when you thought of the time of when you were healed, if you thought your life would be perfect, because that's what I thought. I thought my life would be perfect, or at least closer to perfect, and that I wouldn't have to deal with such emotional, hard things. So here I am, starting out my life. Now I don't have any MS symptoms, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's time for me to go and find a relationship and do that whole thing again. And then exactly.
I tried that. Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. It's funny. I always said I would never date anyone who didn't have any children, right? And not only did he have to have children, but one of them had to be a daughter, because I had a daughter and I would never feel safe. Well, there I go and meet a man who doesn't have any kids. And so then I end up marrying him and having another baby at 44 years old. Like, you set these intentions and God laughs at you. But my point is the healing process. The getting to another place, like another level. I thought like I had done so much work that I had done the bulk of the work. And I had no idea that entering into a relationship and a marriage and having another baby, there was a whole nother layer. And sometimes the depression that I went through during the IVF and then having the baby and then going through the marital issues, and anyone who knows me knows the marital issues. No, it's not all roses. Anyway, long story. I thought I had done the bulk of the work, and going through what I just went through, there were times where I said, I think I would rather get myself out of the wheelchair than go through this. This is so hard. Because when I was getting myself out of the wheelchair, it was all on me. I had to do the work. Now in a relationship, in a marriage, it's me and him, and I have to rely on him doing his work. It's a whole nother life. So it doesn't end. You don't just do the work and heal. It doesn't end. You just keep getting better at it and doing it more and more. And your life just keeps evolving. And I'm sure you're going through the same thing where you're like, I got to do it again. And I got to do it again. And
it's just, it's something like even last Sunday with Catherine's thing. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was holding the suffering all of my ancestors in my life, like, oh shit. Like I have to let that go now.
Yes.
It's just like there's always some little thing in there that you don't know. And like relationships remind you, and then that little piece that you forgot that when you were 13 that happened to you. It's just
It's an onion that never gets done peeling, because when it's done peeling, that's when you die. That's it. Like, there's always layers to be peeled your entire life. It's always healing. And you know what? I know I'm getting away from the comments. I'm so sorry. Okay. So, because we could talk for hours. This would be the longest live at 5 ever. So Claire says, love, love, love that I am becoming. Wow. This is such great advice. It really was, Arden. Thank you for that. Erica says, no, not my MS. I don't want it. I don't own it. Exactly. Everyone loves the I am becoming. That was perfect. Good. Martha says, so fascinating, inspiring to hear Arden's story. So many people who recover so dramatically have had MS. Whoa, I just hit more and it jumps. Okay. Has had MS for like 4 months and have only had minor symptoms like numbness. Arden went through it, the worst of it, for more than a decade. Thank you, Arden, for inspiring us with your dramatic recovery, and to Janine for bringing Arden's story to us along with the protocol that we can follow to achieve a similar success story. Martha, you're so welcome. That's the reason why we do this, to show people it is possible. There's nothing special about us. We're human just like you are. And if we can do it, everybody can do it. And now we know. It's everything. It's the protocol. It's the mind, the body. And now, as you heal, you pass on that information to other people, like Arden is now doing. She's healed. She's got it. Now she's going and she's helping other people through her coaching practice. And that's what Minding Your Soul is all about. All the information in here is free. All of the protocol information is free. If you want the coaching, you can pay for the coaching, and then you can decide, okay, do I want coaching from Janine? Do I want coaching from Arden? And the more people that heal, that start their coaching practices, eventually we will have an entire group of coaches and people who are healing. And you can go, if you look on my website underneath the mission, you will see I wrote that 5-6 years ago. My intention was to start healing people and have them become coaches, and then they heal people. So when you go into Minding Your Soul, you're like, which coach would I like to work with? Which one resonates with me the most? Right?
Exactly.
And the fact that this is all coming alive and people are doing it and coaching practices are starting it, it really is all about minding your soul. So I really could sit and talk to you for another hour, but you know, it's been a while. So maybe we'll do this again. We'll schedule another one. We'll have to do this regularly because this felt really good. I hope you enjoyed it.
I just want to say, like, to people to not just react to their little symptoms. Like if you have a little tingly or a little numbness, just like, okay, I recognize.
Try not to be taken overcome by the fear.
Yeah. I have a little tingle in my leg. Okay, it's okay. Okay, I recognize you. Hello there. Hello back to you. Okay, we had a conversation. We're done now. Just keep a communication channel open, but just, you know.
And trust that it's going to pass because you are becoming healed.
Because every experience has a beginning, a middle, and end. Every experience has a beginning, a middle, and end. That's just the way everything is. And so I just go, okay, this is the beginning. There's the middle. There's the end. So you always can go, well, the end's coming because there's 3 stages. So,
if you're going to listen to anybody out there, you got to listen to Arden, from bedridden to dancing and swimming in the ocean. Those are the 2 things I told Arden in the first call of the Path to Healing 4-month group. They're all on Zooms and they are recorded and put in a private group for people to watch later. And the reason why is because the first call, I always ask them, what is your intention? When you are healed, what is the first thing that you want to do? And there's 2 common answers: the beach and dancing. I want to go to the beach and I want to dance. And here Arden is, after more than a decade of being bedridden. She's dancing, she's going to the beach, she's doing everything that she ever wanted to do. So everyone, please keep the faith. Keep going. Keep
doing something. Every little thing. A Swedish doctor said, if you can just do 1 jumping jack, you do 1 jumping jack. You maybe do 2 next time. I think it's.
But remember, it took Arden 9 months to do a full squat, and she kept at it. So keep this information, not to yourself, but keep it open to everybody. Pass this information along. Don't force it on anybody, but just make sure that you are open to sharing the information, just like Arden is, just like everybody you see doing these live at 5s, because this is the information our brains need to know that there is evidence and to keep us going and to keep that faith. With that, Arden,
people ask you. I don't just like anymore.
I used to. I got kicked out of a lot of Facebook groups.
Now if someone comes to me and says, hey, I have something wrong with my toe, fine.
Right.
I'll help you with that.
Right.
Whatever you need to do, this is what to do for that toe problem, blah, blah, blah. Or if Parkinson's person approaches me, says, that's very similar to MS stuff.
Oh,
so
yes.
Same stuff. So here you go.
You meet people where they are, you help them with what they want help with. And I think Arden and I are very similar, that we wanted, when we got this healing information, we wanted to share it with everybody. And did you find that not everybody wanted it? We lost a lot of friends.
Who will you tell? Now, what is the guy's name? What is he called? What do you have to do? It's like, I just put out that people need to ask me about what I did. But I mean, no one really knows. Like, it's pretty rare that I say, yeah, I've only been walking for 2 years. I mean, it's not often that I just say that, but sometimes people are like, well, how do you stretch? Because I kept stretching. Okay. You have to understand. I stretched even when I was in bed. I kept stretching. So I knew that if I kept moving my body.
I definitely can't do that. I cannot get my foot on camera right now. That was amazing. Yeah, there's no way that I can do it. There's no way.
So I have people ask me, like, how do you do that? I go, I kept doing that through all the times. And I said, I've only been walking for 2 years. What? Like, yeah, that, but it's inside of you. You just have to have that place. Like, I'm dancing, I'm free. I'm dancing free. I don't care if no one asks me. I don't care. I dance by myself. I go out. I just dance by myself. I don't care, because I know, that this is where you are.
This is where you are, and you know where you came from. And it doesn't matter whatever anybody thinks. I'm going to dance because I can. Just like Tina said, I'm run because I can. And as soon as you're healed, you don't give a fuck about anything. You do exactly what you want to do when you want to do it, because you can.
Yeah. I mean, I dance because I can, and I love it. And it's so much fun. And, I don't like to run. I'm not going to run, but, only if I have to.
I haven't run since before I was pregnant, and I do want to get back out there again. I'm going to wait until the spring, because I did get that, oh God, I'm running. But to want to go out there and run doesn't come naturally to me. But once I'm doing it, it feels amazing. But never the next day. Like, I'm getting old. Like, it's just.
Oh, no, I'm in my 60s. You're not old. No.
Well, you look like you have a lot more energy. Like, chasing after a baby all day long. I'm like, oh my God, I felt. Anyway, I'm not going to complain. It's all fine, because I'm sure when he's older, it'll get a lot easier. Whew. He's just starting to crawl around and get.
It's like the first 10 years.
I know. I always said it was the first year that was the hardest, but you're right. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's okay, because everyone says, well, he's going to keep you young. And so he is. He's going to keep me young. All right, Arden, I know we keep saying this. This has been great. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, put them in.
Thank you for listening and staying. And
yes.
Keep going.
Just keep going. Keep going. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you. Arden, you stay around.
Okay.